without further ado, let me officially welcome everyone here to the Goldwater Scholar community, also known as GSC for short. Today's agenda, we really just plan to give you a warm welcome, sort of let you know what the vibe of the community is and what sort of things you should be expecting in the upcoming weeks. And if you do decide to sort of be more involved with us in the long run. So maybe we thought we could start a little bit about what GSC is. And Leah is our resident expert on that.
Well, so is Teddy. But Teddy and I are we're both the co-coordinators of the GSC. So we're going to take this part to sort of take a second to explain what the GSC is and how it functions. So in short, the GSC is a network of scholars helping scholars. So everyone that you see with a gray background who's here presenting was a scholar at some point. Some of us were scholars named as early as last year, and some of us, like me, were named in like 2020. So one of the older scholars. But really, the mission is to have lifelong connections and try to build a network within GSC. So rather than you just being awarded a scholarship, getting some money, and keeping going with your life, the concept is to build a sense of community that would continue throughout your scientific career, and you have like a network to lean on throughout that. We also are really big on promoting diversity and inclusion in the applicant pool, and our DI community will discuss that a lot. And then we also, as you've probably seen through the myriad of Slack messages, we have a variety of events and initiatives that are both like online, and then we're trying to integrate a lot more in-person events, which has been really exciting. So yeah, we can go on to the next slide. Oh, Teddy, you're muted.
Good, because I messed up the transition, so this gives me a second shot. Okay. So when we meet new scholars, a lot of them don't really understand how GSC came to be. So just a very brief history of us. We were actually founded back only in 2018, so less than 10 years ago, by three scholars just like you. They sort of like met up in a conference and just had this idea. The very next year, there was a committee together. We formally launched the Goldwater community online. Very quickly, we were able to organize and pull together events. In 2021 marked a milestone. This is where we started essentially what you're experiencing now and will be in the next few weeks, this new scholar welcome event. And all of that really built up over the years till 2024, where we had our first in-person conference. You can sort of see our happy little group photo there. And we've been building upon that ever since. This is our latest in-person conference, 2025, with over 100 scholars. And we were hoping you and older alumni would join us in sort of these both in-person and virtual events moving forward. I think I want to stress here, and you can sort of tell by those who have backgrounds here, we're meant and we have been this grassroots organization made by people not like, older alumni, but the people your age were just like you a couple of years ago. That's why we're really excited to have y'all join us. Well, hopefully join us. And so we're going to give you a little pitch deck afterwards. But before we get to that, we actually have the president of the Goldwater Foundation, Dr. John Matea, who has been handling a lot of the application review stuff and luckily you guys were all chosen. And I think he wanted to give a few words here before we jump into the rest of the meeting. So Dr. Matea, whenever you're ready.
Well, thank you, Teddy and Leah. I'm delighted to be here. I'm John Matea. I've been the president of the Goldwater Foundation. It's hard to believe. It's been 10 years now. And what I wanted to do here tonight is congratulate you on being selected the Goldwater Scholars for 2026. I can tell you wowed our reviewers this year, and I just finished a board meeting today, and you wowed that group too, our Board of Trustees members. There are two things that I want to ask you to do. If you don't already know it, it's not only what you know in your field, but who you network with over the years. And this is a tremendous group of students that you have the opportunity, a very unique opportunity to network with. There are clearly future leaders in this group in the entire set of STEM areas. So join GSC and make the most of it and get to know as many Goldwater Scholars as you can. The other thing that I'd like to ask you to do is a few days ago, I sent out a survey, and I do this every year. And there's a very important question on that survey. They're all important, but the most important one is where we ask you how applying for Goldwater and receiving a Goldwater has impacted you. And those responses I have used over the years when I'm talking to members of Congress about funding this program to elicit an appropriation that has allowed us since 2019 to double the number of scholarships. As you know, we support about 500 students a year. And back in 2018, it was 250. So had we not gotten the funding to double the number of scholarships, many of you might not be, in this group. And we want you here. So join GSC, network, and please, fill out that survey because I do use those responses, and it's your stories that move members of Congress. So all my best to you wherever your career takes you. Teddy, it's back to you.
Thank you, John. I think.
Yes, it's
Oh,
me.
yeah, you're muted.
Sorry,
Yeah.
slowly unmuting. Okay, so just to quickly flash who's part of the GSC. So this year and for a variety of years before this, we tend to have a continuity of members, although we're always recruiting, which we'll talk about a bit later. So I'm not going to make everyone unmute and introduce themselves for the sake of time, but you've already met and seen me and Teddy. We're both the current co-coordinators. We also have Caitlin and Joya, who are the incoming co-coordinators. And so the GSC works in a really lateral type of structure. Sorry to use that like jargony word. But basically we have co-coordinators that work across the variety of committees that we have. So everyone else here that's pictured is a chair or a co-chair of a committee. And so Teddy and I, and then Caitlin and Joya's role is not really to act as the president of the foundation like Dr. Mattea would be, but really to coordinate all of the committees to work together. And so we're both laterally, we all work together to collaborate towards a shared mission. And we also are always accepting new members, but within committees and often as new chairs or co-chairs. And so we're really excited to have you guys possibly be interested in joining as part of the council. Great. Okay, and so sort of now what we're going to do is create a little more icebreaker before we go into the rest of the presentation because it can be a little boring. And instead we want you guys to be able to meet each other before we actually do that in the social that's this weekend. So you can choose any of the breakout rooms. I think they're open now. Someone correct me if that's not right, but I think I see them open now. There's 18 of them. And what you'll do is just enter. We'll do it for about 10 minutes. So come back around 5:22. Sorry, that's in Pacific time. 8:22, 8:25. And you can pull from any of these icebreaker questions. I'll be in one of the rooms. Teddy will be in one of the rooms. You'll see everyone else as well. Yeah, and we'll just start there and eventually everyone will come back as well. Did I miss anything?
The breakout room. So go ahead and try to join one.
I think that happens with the breakout rooms. Great. Yeah. So Teddy mentioned that the big event that we have coming up is like the social on Saturday. Come for as long as you can. It's really great. You can talk to both like committee members and co-chairs about getting involved with the GSC, but also it's really just for you guys to meet each other and like have a couple of faces to place within like the large cohort that is your new class. And then we have a bunch of other new scholars events that we're really excited about. The first one, and I won't go too far into them because every committee is going to talk more about them, is a conference Q&A talking about our in-person conference. We have a med school application workshop for people who are thinking about applying this cycle if you're like a junior, where we'll work on like primaries and things like that. We have a mentor-mentee meet and greet if you want to get paired with an older scholar. And then we have various in-person meetups that are coming up as well as in the fall, an in-person conference, which is related to that first event. So without further ado, we'll sort of get into each of the committees and they can tell you more about what they do and what events that are coming up. So.
actually, I just want to highlight the two big QR codes on the sides.
Yeah.
I know we know this is a lot of information we're throwing at you. So instead of having trying to memorize all of this, what if you just added the GSC calendar and then we will take care of all that for you? And instead of replying to each individual event, what if there was a general RSVP with all the events at once? Wow, such great planning. Thank you. Thank you. We worked very hard. But I think Ethan would talk about the very first welcome event that we really do want you to come to.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. And congrats again. I'm Ethan. I'm one of the social events chairs. I'm a 2023 scholar. I'm really excited to announce our welcome party this year. This is kind of a classic for us every year. And as Teddy and Leo were saying, this will be on GatherTown, which is kind of this like virtual like game-like platform where you can kind of walk around with your own character, play some games, and kind of talk with some like proximity chat with other scholars and stuff like that. And so we'll have time set out for everybody to kind of meet each other. We'll have a trivia session, which is always a big kind of highlight every year. And you'll have the opportunity to kind of ask specific questions to specific exec members in case you want to get involved. And yeah, it'll be a great time just to like meet everyone. So please respond with the general RSVP. And the date is this Friday. I mean, sorry, this Saturday. April 4th at 5 p.m. EST. And then the link is here, but it should also be in some of the later announcements that we send later on. And it should also be in the Slack. So yeah.
Yeah, my name is Nicole, and I'm a 2024 scholar, and I'm one of the co-chairs of social events with Ethan. So I'm just going to go through our social event timeline for these upcoming months. So, like Ethan said, our welcome party is in April. Please come to that. It's going to be really fun, and it's also a good opportunity to make some one-on-one connections that Dr. Mateo was really like advocating for. And it's a really nice place to like just make some long-lasting friendships that you'll continue to have in Goldwater. And then we have our summer and fall events. One of them is our med school application workshop, which will be in May, just for everyone to work on their primaries, as well as we'll begin getting some information about who wants to host summer meetups, which is a really popular event. You can meet scholars in person, get lunch, get coffee, and also connect with scholars if you're visiting for an REU experience. And I'll also let Ethan talk a little bit more about the in-person meetups. We'll have our game night trilogy where you can win some prizes, as well as other application workshops in the fall, including med school secondaries, our fellowship workshops, like such as GRFP, Marshall Scholar, Churchill Scholar, as well as like some grad school workshops. And these workshops are very peer-to-peer based. So you get to talk with other Goldwater scholars as well as past Goldwater alum and get some advice from current grad students as well as med students and get to hear about their experiences in grad school, the trials and tribulations, as well as the things they enjoy. And we'll have plenty of more events to come soon too. And I'll let Ethan take away from the in-person meetups.
Yeah. So as kind of Nicole said, we'll have some in-person meetups later in the summer. And so in the past, we've done this for like 2 years now, and we've had meetups in locations from, as you can see here, the West Coast, San Diego, San Francisco, Salt Lake City has been on the West as well. It's like East Coast, all around the country. We've even hosted some in like the UK as well. And so be on the lookout for notifications about in-person meetups later this summer. Additionally, if you're interested and you want to indicate your interest right now, and potentially if you're interested in hosting in your nearby area, please fill out this QR code that we have here on this slide. Just let us know that you're interested, and also that if you might want to kind of host in your area. These are some pictures of some of the meetups that we've had in the past years. Actually, this top one was from a Boston meetup that happened a couple of days ago. And the one on the bottom is from, I believe, 2024, 2025. This is in New York, and we did kind of like a picnic in Central Park. And so if you're interested in kind of coming to some of these events or getting involved with the organization of it, please fill out the QR code and also just be on the lookout for our notifications. And we hope to meet you all in person sometime.
Great, thanks, Ethan. I think that Nithya or Wimith are going to present the webinars part here.
Yep. Hi, my name is Wimeth. I am the co-chair of webinars. Nithya can't be here, but she's the other co-chair. And we organize short panel sessions to help out with applications for graduate school and also for a bunch of other fellowships and applications. You can see our top hits here on YouTube. They're great. You should definitely watch them. And we also have future sessions planned for medical school and PhD applications later in the year. Oh, and if you're interested in organizing these, you can contact us. Okay, that was basically all there is in the slide. Okay, there's also a book club, and so we're organizing this with social events. The kickoff will be April 9th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. There's a bunch of books already in the running. The top one, based on votes currently in the Slack, is Project Hail Mary, which there's a movie on it. And there's a bunch of other books, and there's only a few votes so far. And so if you join the Slack channel, hashtag book club, you can vote and change the results if you don't like them. But if you do like the results, you should also vote so that your favorite book can be in the running. And so make sure to vote by April 7th. It'll be a lot of fun. Okay, these books are great. And if you are interested in reading them, please come to book club.
Hi, I'm Sydney. I'm one of the co-chairs of our Diversity and Inclusion Committee. And so as Leah had said at the beginning of the presentation, one of the missions of our organization is to promote diversity inclusion in our application pool. And so what we really want to do is try to give back to people who are applying for the Goldwater Scholarship or people who are early undergrads just first getting into research and really support them throughout that process to hopefully help them get into the same kind of position that we're in now, or just help them succeed in their path. So we have a couple of different programs that support this. One of them is our traditional Goldwater Ambassadors program, where we match Goldwater Scholars, which are now you, with early undergraduate researchers, and you provide them with a year-long mentoring experience. You meet with them regularly to discuss like lab options, conference presentations, stuff like that. And so this can really provide a good longitudinal experience. But over the last year, we also created an additional program that allows us to play to our particular strengths as people who have won the Goldwater Scholarship. So we also have the Goldwater Application Review Program, where scholars are matched with applicants to help review and provide feedback on their Goldwater application drafts.
Hi everyone, my name is Kayla. I've met some of you in the breakout rooms, but I'm a 2022 scholar and I am a co-chair of the D&I committee along with Sydney. And as she said, the Ambassadors Program mentor applications are going to be sent out soon. Sometime this summer we'll send those out so you can be matched with another undergraduate and hopefully provide them some feedback on their Goldwater applications or whatever feedback they may need on other things as well. We just want to make this as inclusive as possible for people to have more chances to get into Goldwater, as Sydney alluded to. One of the key upcoming events that we'll have is the D&I ID Exchange, which we have every single cycle. It's on April 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we do this so that we can get your feedback on what you would like to see from the D&I committee. We know there's a lot going on in the world right now, and so we really want to uplift one of the main pillars of the GSC is activism and social engagement. And we really want to make sure that we're hitting on all of those things in the D&I committee. And so come and bring your ideas. We need ideas on what we can do as far as either newsletters, if you want to have a weekly info session on what's going on in the world, if we want to have an event session, all of those things are really important, but also other if you have any ideas on upcoming events that you would like to see as far as like during Pride Month or anything of that nature, we would love to have all of those things. And I know that there's a lot going on as far as like, I know Black History Month just passed and Women's History Month just passed, so we can do events alluded to those as well. So whatever ideas that you have, we would be happy to take them. So please apply to join the D&I committee. Like Cindy said, we match mentors and mentees. We write monthly resource guides for mentees, so connecting them with any internship opportunities we come across. Anything of that nature, we really try to get that information and not gatekeep anything from anyone and be as open books as possible when it comes to things that we come across. And we also just recently started writing federal policy newsletters. Me and a couple other scholars started to do this last year. We got some really good feedback on it. It's a lot, it's hard to do because there's a lot going on. But we each take one of the biggest, I guess, stories that are going on. And one of them being like the federal funding, as far as funding NASA and the DOE and all of those things. So we really want to just make sure that you get the information that you need. And so we have those going out as well. So we'll be happy to see you on April 8th at the Idea Exchange. And yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Kayla and Sydney. I think we're now on to Amanda to talk about the mentorship program, which is different from the DEI mentee program. So she'll explain that a little more.
Hi all, congratulations. My name's Amanda. I'm one of the co-chairs along with Justice for the mentorship program. I'm a 2025 scholar. And just in brief, our mentorship program aims to facilitate one-on-one connections with older, more advanced scholars in their careers with upcoming scholars who are just getting started in their academic and professional journeys. So we seek to facilitate that matching process and allow for a space for you to receive professional, academic, or personal guidance as you navigate your research career or your future career as well. We do host like social events. As you can see, we have our networking event later this month for you to join on a Zoom and just meet potential mentors, other fellow mentees. And then we will officially then release our Google form to select and your preferences for a mentor in early May. And then I'll get into a little bit more about how you can indicate whether or not you're interested on the next slide. One of the big things is registering an account on the Goldwater website. So you'll be able to create an account as you see below some of the profiles. On the very last question, when you're creating your account, it asks if you're interested in participating in the mentorship program. So that just makes it easy to categorize yourself as a mentor or mentee and also find other mentors and other mentees within the directory itself and to see who shares your like professional or research interests and be able to connect to Goldwater scholars who have joined like 10 plus years ago to even like recent ones from this past year and this year as well. So yeah, if you're interested, please make an account on the directory and more information will be sent out as well if you are interested with all the links. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, Amanda. Just a point on that, I think some people had questions about registering. You can go to the login link and then you just have to press the register button. So if you don't have a login, that's cool. You're going to make one. All right. So I think we're going to go on to social media now.
Hi everyone, I'm Marlon. I'm a 2025 scholar, and I'm also a co-chair for social media along with Paul, who you'll hear from later. I know there's been a lot of information about all of these events, but don't worry, we have it all consolidated in one place for you. If you want to scan that QR code to our link tree, again, that just has all of the forms, links for the events and stuff that are all happening within the next month. Some of you may have already checked out our Instagram, but this is a really good place to follow to check out the events, scholar features, things that are just going on generally with GSC. The social media committee also manages some other platforms, including LinkedIn. I know some people have been adding others on LinkedIn, dropping LinkedIn, etc. But search up, I think it's called Goldwater Scholar Community, and request to join our LinkedIn group. Great place to connect and network with other people in research. We also help manage the YouTube channel, which is where all of those webinars that Wimith was mentioning are hosted on. Next slide. And we're looking for new members this year. So we're trying to push out these year-round publicity efforts. We're especially looking for somebody who might be willing to put themselves online in more public-facing positions. So if you want your influencer era to be happening right now, maybe consider applying to join our committee. So some of the things we do are these really nice scholar features. You can see here Tyler from 2023. We're also looking to expand our meme side of things. So if you're interested in science communication, whether whether it be through memes or through reels or other things like that, definitely consider applying.
Yeah, thanks, Marlon. My name is Joya. I'm the co-chair of conference and the chair of funding, but I'm also going to be taking over. A very distant ringer is going off outside, so hopefully you can't hear that. But I'm also going to be taking over as co-cord position shortly. So Zachary Pakin will be taking over funding committee as the new funding chair. So generally, funding committee's overarching purpose is to build financial support for the GSC. And when I first won the Goldwater and joined funding, I really had no idea what funding committee did or what to expect. But a year after I joined, I found myself like having a nice dinner with the president of the foundation, which was totally surreal, and brainstorming ideas for ways to support scholars. And that's really what funding committee is all about. It's getting to have a seat at the table for the really big picture questions with higher ups and potential donors that help shape the GSC and the future in the network for scholars. So the GSC's remarkable success over the past few years has really impressed the Goldwater administration, and we're very well positioned to expand funding as a more independent national organization. So we're super excited to bring in new members to scale these efforts, and I'm now going to let our formidable new funding chair, Zach, share what that looks like for the new members.
Hey everyone, I'm Zach. I'm a 2025 scholar, and I'm the incoming funding chair. I haven't been around long enough to get the gray background, but I think that'll come soon. But I guess the real question is, what will you do as the funding chair? As a member of funding, and really, what you'll do is you will help build relationships with potential donors. Next slide, please. Thank you. So you'll help build relationships with donors and expand your professional network and really develop a set of funding skills that's pretty rare and unique. These types of grant writing skills are very applicable to future careers in research, and it's something that if you're still an undergrad like I am, that it's very appealing to future PIs if you have these skills. So I think that there's a lot of ways that you can get involved. I've done a lot of initial inquiries and looking to build the donor network for the GSC, but you can apply those skills in a variety of ways. If you're interested even in merch designs, you can help with GSC merch designs. And you can also, if you're interested in outreach and helping other scholars develop skills related to funding applications, you can help build funding education resources. There's really a lot that you can do with funding. I think we're really excited to continue to build a donor base for the GSC and get more members involved. So if you want to get involved, please direct any questions to Joe or myself. I can, I'm just getting started, but I can help answer any of your questions. But I really would recommend applying. I've had a great time being a member of funding the last year, and I'm excited to take over as chair.
Great.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you,
Zach.
Zach. Oh, go
I guess
ahead.
thanks, Zach. I'm always a little, I think I have a little bias because I also started in funding, but I really want to recommend it again because I think funding really is the linchpin that holds sort of the backstage of all these committees together. We can't fund the in-person events. We can't even think about doing big like in-person conferences without funding. And if you are interested maybe in your future career of how to do, more than just these small gatherings that you're used to in undergrad and start doing something serious, I think this is a really good opportunity. But you've heard enough. Let's go on to the next slide.
Hi everyone, my name is Chloe. I'm a 2025 scholar and I'm one of the co-chairs for the conference committee, and just welcome again and congratulations to all the new 2026 scholars. So throughout this presentation, you've been hearing about this conference. So now I'll give a little bit of background about what it is. So the overarching conference that we've been talking about is the Gulf Coast Undergraduate Research Symposium, or if you hear us say GCURS, that's what we're referring to. It's a larger conference that's held every year at Rice University in Houston, Texas, and this year it will be held on October 16th through 18th. And as Goldwater Scholars, we plan, or the conference committee specifically, plans some Goldwater specific events in conjunction with the conference. So it's a really great opportunity to meet other scholars from around the nation, and it's where we all gather in one place. And I will mention you do not have to be on the conference committee in order to attend the conference, but if you're interested in helping to plan some of those events, we are recruiting new members and we would love to have you. As a Goldwater Scholar, and like I said, not necessarily as part of the conference committee, but in general, you have the opportunity to apply for funding to attend the conference. So while we are at the conference, some of the things that you may do is present your research. So this is a really unique opportunity. At many conferences, undergrads aren't able to actually give talks. They're mostly poster sessions, but GCURS is unique because you can give a 12 to 15-minute presentation, depends on your field, to other undergrads, and you also get really great feedback from other people at Rice. We also plan a Goldwater dinner where you can enjoy dinner with other scholars and you get to meet Dr. Matea in person, which is really great. And as the conference committee, we're responsible for planning a lot of that dinner. We also have social events, fun and networking. So we have a summit, a couple little gatherings where you can meet other scholars in person. And we also have professional development events. Last year, we had a panel where you got to hear from different representatives for other funding opportunities that you may be competitive for applying for. And then this was mentioned a little bit earlier, but I want to remind everybody that we will be having a Q&A on April 19th from 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time via Zoom. If you're interested in joining the conference committee, we would absolutely love to have you. And now I'll pass it off to Paul to talk about the Alumni Task Force.
Perfect. Thank you, Chloe.
Great.
And
Thank you, Chloe.
Oh, go ahead, Paul. I was just going to say that we're slowly rolling down, and this is sort of our last committee presentation for the foreseeable future. So go ahead, Paul.
Thank you. So new to this year's Alumni Task Force, this is a new effort kind of established by upcoming core coordinators Caitlin and Joya to increase our post-undergrad involvement, which we kind of collectively call the alumni in the GSC. So on the left, you'll see a graphic describing what we kind of currently offer and also what the task force hopes to accomplish. So currently, you as a Goldwater Scholar, you get to experience these amazing things such as social meetups and events, and shown here is a Boston meetup just a few days ago. Also things like the mentorship and the network through the Goldwater Directory and the the annual Goldwater Summit, which Chloe and the conference committee just talked about. And with the addition of alumni, we can make all of these pre-existing events even better. So more involved alumni means a greater network beyond your immediate peers and colleagues, ultimately leading to more mentorship opportunities, also more enriching summit experience and more diverse demographic at social events. But there's also the added benefits listed at the bottom of the graphic. So alumni relations may lead to more funding and donors, which ultimately enables bigger and better events. More active alumni around the country will enable the establishment of Goldwater chapters that can be active in your immediate area. And even things like the Goldwater Summit may not just be like a one-time annual thing, but maybe once every few months occurrence. And because these efforts span so many roles, this task force will work closely with a lot of committees. So I'm the co-chair of social media, and I'll be heading this committee, this task force, but we also envision that this task force will work closely with stuff like social events and mentorship as well. So if you guys remember at the beginning, we recall that some of the GSC's mission is to foster these lifelong connections and also grow the sense of community. And so I hope you can see why this alumni task force is so important to us and also to help the GSC. And so we'd love to have you, and if you're at all interested and have any questions, feel free to contact me. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. So I'm Caitlin. As mentioned earlier, I will be one of the new co-coordinators. You can go to the next slide. And so I'd say congratulations again to everyone. Being part of the GSC committee has been really great for me. It's a way to give back to this incredible community and also a way that I've grown in my leadership skills. So I hope you will consider joining us. Please come talk to us at the welcome party if you'd like to ask any more questions and also just to hang out and play some fun games. The council application is open today. You can access that through the council matching form. And this is a way for us to know what your interests and experiences and strengths are so that we can match you onto a committee that's right for you. And we do have an open door policy here in the GSC, But for this application, we would ask that you please fill it out by April 19th so that we can quickly get you on a committee. So please take a look at that. And if you have any questions about the application, please DM me or Joya Kapoki, and we'd be happy to help you with that. Joya?
Yeah. And one last quick reminder, we do have a special fundraiser to celebrate all of you new scholars. So make sure you get your Goldwater Scholar hoodie or shirt before it closes on April 17th if you want one. And all of the funds we raise go to hosting all of the awesome GSC events and committee initiatives. So check it out. Yeah, we just want to say thank you so much for making time out of your evening. And congratulations again to everyone. It's really an amazing thing to get this award. You should feel very proud. And we hope that you will stay involved in the GSC, take an interest in some of the things that we do, because as Caitlin said, it can be so rewarding. I know I've met like lifelong friends through the GSC, and then you get to know each other virtually across the country, and then occasionally you'll see each other in person through our in-person events, and it can be a lot of fun. And a last reminder, please come to the welcome party where it will be all socializing and hanging out and a lot of fun. That's April 4th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Joya, and thanks everyone for joining. We're gonna stick around for as long as y'all want to be here for any questions, and we'll stop the recording for the questions